Hello, Seeker, and welcome back to the Sword of Truth podcast, the chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sword of Truth series with a death cart full of craft brew on the side.
Ooh.
I'm Jade, and I'm here with Nate and Aaron.
Hello.
And today we're going to be shooting our way through Chapter 51 of Temple of the Winds.
I'd rather call it Target than call it Death Card, I think. I think you pass on it. And you're like, would you like some ale from the dead cart? No, I think I'm good.
I'm sorry, Aaron.
I'm a lot less excited to start this chapter than I was 30 seconds ago.
I just think, okay, look at it this way, guys. If you have to call the death cart, right, you want some alcohol. So I would hope that they're bringing me some booze.
True.
So like
As
stored
well as,
around the death cart.
Yeah,
like, here, I'm going to take your person and then you can have some booze.
I mean, ideally,
Okay, I see that.
when shit gets a
I
little
see
crazy,
that.
you just stack it wherever you want. But, you know, it just, you're going to want something to ease the pain.
We're calling the death cart because we're about to kill this chapter.
Oh.
Look at you go.
I'm done. I'll see you guys
Are
tomorrow.
you proud of him?
Job done. See you guys at the end of the episode.
I did my one contribution.
Well, you're not actually done because we have an entire episode that we're going to be here for. We're going to talk about the whole chapter.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay. Are you ready to do that? Everybody ready to do that?
I'm ready.
Okay. So Richard and crew head back to the Anderson home. They are walking back down into town. They're going to just check on shit. Make sure everything's... Well, they know it's not okay, but they're just seeing how things are.
The Andersons were the family of one of the sick kids, right?
Yes, they are. Well, one of the boys was on the team, but both daughters were sick.
Right.
And so when they get there, everybody is dead. There's nobody alive in the household. Clive is sitting on a chair holding his wife, both dead. Sad scene.
That's so, because one of them must have died first, right? Mm-hmm. And so then he's probably, or he was just holding his wife as she finally gave in to the plague and then just sat there and said, fuck it, I'm just going to stay with my wife until I go because...
He was probably already sick at that point, too. Yeah.
There's nothing else to live for now. Yeah. So I just, the imagery of that. I looked at a couple of the Mount St. Helens people where they were like encased in their bedrooms, just holding each other. Or maybe not Mount St. Helens.
Yeah, I think it was Pompeii.
Pompeii, yeah. I was thinking too recent.
Yeah.
But they've got just people encased in lava that were just holding each other when everything exploded. It's just incredible.
Then,
in a bad way.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a bad way.
But then there was also like the dude that got crushed by a boulder. They found a skeleton where they could tell that he was facing away from the explosion and there was a rock on his head. So he literally got, as he was running away or walking away, he got hit by a rock and died.
Damn.
Then there's
That's incredible in a funny way.
That's more funny than
And I believe there was also one guy who very conspicuously had his hand in an inappropriate region.
I saw that one yesterday, and I was like, that can't be real. But if it is,
guess
at least
I'm going out.
Yeah, he was trying to get one more.
Yeah. Or he had a really bad itch.
It could have been an itch. It could have been an itch.
You don't spread your legs like that for an itch.
might have been deep in there.
You never know. Okay, so Grandpa comes back to the house, confirming that the whole family has died except for Beth, who recovered and was brought to family of Hattie, the mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I got so confused here because I listened to it and I thought I heard Addie.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh yeah. Wait, are the Andersons related to Addie? Hold on, is Addie short for Anderson? What the fuck's going on here? I just needed to rewind it a couple of times.
You had to buy a whole nother spool of yarn.
But how sad for Beth, though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, this is just shoved in there. Like, oh yeah, we just shoved her with another family member. But like, both her siblings died.
Everybody died.
Her parents died. She recovered. She was sick, and she's the only person who apparently was strong enough to like fight it off. And now she has no family left.
Yeah, I'm sure she doesn't feel like she survived the plague.
Yeah, probably not.
Like survivor's guilt, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's got to be awful. Just this whole scene where, you think, oh, there's a plague and bad shit's happening, and then you go and actually look at it and see what it's doing to families, and it's just...
Plus,
it brings it to a whole nother level.
if you really want to get real with it, when she gets older and she thinks about her conversation with the Lord Rawl and the Mother Confessor and how they talked about the box that her and her sister looked at, eventually she's going to realize that her and her sister looking into that box is what helped start the plague.
Oh, fuck.
So, on top of the regular survivor's
And
guilt,
then you've survived. Oh,
She's gonna
I
have-
didn't even think
she's
of
gonna
that.
have
Makes
that.
it so much worse.
yeah.
Fuck, you'd almost not saying you
I know,
should, but
I
you'd
know.
almost want to die
I
at
know.
that point.
She's gonna need a therapist.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess good luck finding one now.
Yeah.
But
Well, I don't know. She's going to be an interesting old woman to interact with. That's all I have to say, I guess.
maybe she dedicates herself to the medical field. Like she may have caused a really bad thing. So then she devotes the rest of her life to
That's true.
just trying to help
Yeah.
people, and because it wasn't intentional.
No, it's not really her fault, but
But she
yeah,
did the thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, and it's those who can't do teach. She couldn't stop the plague from spreading, and so now she's going to teach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could
also,
work out.
my mom's a teacher, so I know that that's not true. Actually, it is. My mom's. She's not the smartest.
What?
She can bake pretty good cookies, though.
I
Shut
think
up.
your mom is an incredible woman.
Jade, shut up. Nate, I'm just lumping you in right now.
Hey, Aaron,
Shut it.
she can do.
No. No.
So Richard doesn't know what to say, but he does his best to comfort the man and then make sure that they all
Yeah.
wait outside until the soldiers come to help him remove the bodies. And he says to Kahlan after they get outside that he didn't know what the fuck to say, which everybody kind of feels like when you're talking to somebody who's had a really bad situation happening.
Yeah.
Like, oh, lots of death. You're just, I'm sorry.
I'm terrible at that.
Yeah.
I've never been any. I'm one of the people that just go, oh,
They're there.
Yeah.
Tapping on him with a broom from the
Yeah.
other room. No, well, and it's hard because each person isn't the same. So it's not, you never know what the right thing for that person is. Some people might want to be, oh yeah, they're in a better place. Hey,
Yeah.
they're not suffering anymore, all of that.
Yeah.
And then some people, you say that kind of shit to them and it triggers them and they're like, oh yeah? Yeah, they're better off now? Really? I needed my mom still because,
Yeah.
I'm still, ugh. They're like, I wasn't trying to fight with you. I'm really sorry. I'm going to go.
Why did that feel like you were speaking from personal experience, Jade? Kind of felt a little specific at the end there.
Yeah, well, I guess I just understand how Richard felt in the moment. But everyone tells him that he did say the right thing. That's all he could do.
Yeah.
Is just try. Basically, the best thing to do is just try to be human to another human.
Yeah. A lot of times just having sympathy for a person. You're like, hey, I don't know what that's like, but
Yeah.
I'm just here for whatever you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've found that saying sorry for your loss and then finger guns. That's usually that usually works for me. So
And then do you get them a congrats? I know we got to keep going. You give sympathy cards for happy occasions. So I'm just wondering, do you do a weird thing where you give people like, hey, congrats on the passing of your loved one cards?
no, it's congrats on the inheritance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So while waiting for the death carts to arrive and some soldiers to get there to haul these dead bodies out of the house, an arrow is shot at Nadine. She is standing separate from everybody else, and she
Nice.
almost gets hit by it.
Oh, almost. Oh, I thought problem solved there for a second.
Richard magically grabs it, so she's fine.
From the air.
Oh, yeah.
This was kind of weird because
And then chases the shooter. He's
yeah, first
Straight out of
he
a
gets the hair stands up on the back of his neck, right? First it's just a feeling. And then it goes through this whole scene where it's like he's Kahlan, where time has slowed down. He has all the time in the world, and he just kind of reaches out and plucks the arrow from the air, where he's like, Nadine, blinking in shock from what it was happening took an hour.
It's literally like a movie. It's like when you see Flash do something.
Where everything just slows down.
Everything slows down because he's moving so fast. So, yeah, it's just, it's cool. He's magic, but
Yeah.
it's one of those moments where you're like,
But the thing is he did that from just hearing,
yeah.
right? He didn't make eye contact with the shooter or see anybody do anything. This was pure just from the sound of somebody firing an arrow.
Yeah.
Which just further proves the point that Richard should always have a blindfold on.
Yeah.
His magic will just... Maybe he bumps into a few things he didn't mean to. But as far as life and death goes, magic just takes over because
Yeah.
he can't see.
Instinct.
Yeah. Yeah, he put a blindfold on, and you can just start Neo-ing shit right out of the air. Just hold out your hand, stop the arrows from even coming.
Yeah, Neo is what I thought about immediately, too. He's just like fucking dodging shit.
Dodging bullets.
Grabbing stuff. After grabbing the arrow out of the air and that miraculous feat, he immediately like turns and starts running after the shooter. It's like it's literally like a movie.
The shooter he didn't see.
Right. He just
Right.
knows but he knows the direction of the arrow. So like,
Okay.
I
can see that,
Common
yeah.
sense. You're like, okay, well, it shot from over there. I'm going over there.
Going that way.
He doesn't see anybody still, though.
See, at first, I don't know why I didn't think of that he knew the direction the arrow had come from. Because he was like, if he didn't see the guy, then how does he know where to run? But no, that makes perfect sense.
Also, he didn't immediately run. What immediately happened was Nadine goes, Richard, how'd you do that? Like, that's creepy. Like, thanks for doing it. But
Yeah.
that was creepy. Nadine, what the actual fuck? You would be dead. Do you know what? That's
Yeah.
creepy. What's creepy is you were about to die. Richard saved you. That's not the creepy part.
Yeah, it's
Jesus Christ.
It's almost creepy the way that she responds by being so calm and being like, that was weird, instead of being like crying.
Because
like
she
a
was
lot of
more
people would-
happy that
yeah.
Richard had done something for her.
And again, we're talking split set. This is the very first thing that went through her head. Not anything about it was how did you do that? Which I get a little bit, but like
But she does know he's magic too, so
yeah, exactly. Like Jesus, like I know sometimes I play devil's advocate for Nadine. Not this time. Nadine, you're an ignorant slut, okay?
Oh, ooh,
wow.
God,
You went-
just be happy you're alive still.
you went straight there, man.
Shots across the bow.
Anyway, I digress.
Okay.
Okay. So Richard runs the direction that the arrow came in. He like vaults over some fucking fence.
Parkour.
Yeah.
Parkour.
Parkour. There's nothing there except an old goat, like a white goat, and he keeps seeing people and being like, "Hey, there was a person. Where'd they go?" And then going that way,
Hollering at people, yeah.
yeah. He's shoving people out of the way and just running, and he just keeps missing the guy. Eventually, the guy ends up into the crowd. There's just a large crowd. Can't tell. Everyone's walking. The guy
Yeah, it's
is
like
not stupid.
The market.
So,
There are people in town
Yeah.
doing business and going about their day.
yeah. As long as you're not an idiot and you're just like, I'm going to blend, then you're fine.
Yeah, he did his Assassin's Creed impression. He threw a hood up over and walked. Suddenly, just was next to three people who also all had their hoods up, and
Yeah.
boom, perfect
Yeah.
camouflage.
Gone
forever.
As long as you walk slowly, you'll be fine.
Yeah, if you just hold the button down, it'll take you through.
Just
it, too.
auto follow.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
I
Well,
love that game.
he instructs the soldiers in the area to like quarantine and question everybody around, but he doesn't really like expect this to go very far. He doesn't know what the guy's wearing, and he didn't see his face. So
They don't really know who it is they're looking for.
Yeah, he's hoping to catch the guy at this point.
at this point, they're stopping and questioning people, looking for someone to say, I saw somebody looking a little bit weird in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, you're looking for the person that watched the person stop running.
Yes.
Because then you'd be like, yeah, he was running
Exactly.
through here,
Yeah.
and then he stopped, and then he was real cool, and he went that way, and he was wearing this. Now you have eyes on the
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Because you do.
But they gotta, it's like cop radios, right? They gotta get out in front of the dude speeding so they can call the next county and be like, head him off up there. They're playing catch up right now.
Or at the very least, this is what he didn't think to do, is to send a soldier back to one of those people that you just yelled at and ask where they went and be like, hey,
description.
description.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Well, and
Get an artist over there right now.
yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the thing too is you notice changes. So if someone's walking, you don't really notice them if they just keep walking. And the same thing with running. You don't really notice them if they keep running. But when someone goes from a walk to a run or a run to a walk, you're more likely to notice that.
Yeah.
Because it fucked up the status quo. So it's like, yeah, I've seen that. Like even with seeing people clearly dressed like out for a run, like if all of a sudden just not at a crosswalk or anything, they just stop and start walking, I'm like, oh, interesting. Guess you're not as in shape as you thought. You got to take a walk too, huh? But I do, like, I notice it.
Wow.
I see it right away where I'm like,
Judgment.
oh,
Immediately.
why'd they stop running? So someone had to have seen this guy, like, turn a corner and stop running or turn a corner and hide. Like, someone had to have seen something.
So while this guy's getting away, they are in a race to find the person that saw him do that.
Also, where's his bow?
Yeah. Never mind the running. Did you see a guy with a bow and arrow or a crossbow come
Yeah.
through here?
Did
Well,
he chuck it?
He could have chucked it. Could have chucked it, yeah. But still,
Fingerprints.
again, status quo. Someone's going to see someone throw a crossbow.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least I would hope.
I would hope. You know, you don't want the chillins picking up crossbows.
Nice.
You got one of them crossbows? I think I like the longbow instead, but, you know, if crossbows sound pretty good. I don't know what that was.
Yes. After heading back to the palace, Tristan, fuck me. Okay, Tristan meets up with the group as Richard is giving out orders to everybody for the night.
Good. I'm sure
Okay.
this is totally the right person to run into right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Richard wants 2 more Sith at the Sliff and 1 at Nadine's door. Guards outside Dreff's room and the palace, none are to be wasted at Kahlan's door. He specifically is like, we are not wasting any protection on my betrothed.
Precious time and resources on Kahlan?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
she's
just Kahlan?
She's in the palace. She's safe.
Yeah.
You know, she's in the palace like Nadine, so clearly she's already safe, right? You don't need extra guards. Because she's in the palace.
So backward. And
He lays it
Kahlan's
on
even like,
so thick, too.
Yes.
excuse? And he's like, no, you're fine.
You'll be
Yes.
fine.
So,
Somebody attacked my healers,
yeah.
Nadine, and their protection is my priority.
Yeah, because interesting. So something starts affecting the health of the population, and then people just start going after the people trying to help.
Yeah.
Weird. I can't imagine that would happen in real life.
No, it wouldn't. No,
Can't.
people aren't like that.
Can't imagine.
Not one example.
Nope.
Nope.
People would never be assholes to people in the healthcare situation. Like not even slightly assholes, because they
No.
know that they're there to help.
But also, I, as a first-time reader, because I'm assuming, hey, you know what, guys? Something's up right now. But I was like, the most upset I've ever been at Richard was right now. So I'm just like, you fucking idiot. Like, this is passion rules reason. Like, no, you don't pull guards off Kahlan's door. What the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, you idiot. Like, all right, here we go. Here's another thing where they're going to do everything wrong, and it's all going to turn out fine. I was so pissed
Hey,
right now.
you know what? I started getting upset too. But I guess all that says to me is that I would think that unless you didn't really understand how Richard works, which I guess Tristan might not, but anybody who knows Richard watching the scene would go, this is weird. You know?
Exactly.
Because while we're reading it, you're going, what the fuck are you doing? So most of his advice, anybody that's not aware of what's going on would be like, the fuck are you doing?
Well, it was Kahlan.
Yeah.
Kahlan was the one that was just like, Richard, what's going? Which I thought was actually pretty, I don't know, interesting because we've been giving Kahlan a lot of shit lately for some of the choices she's been making.
Yes.
And yet, in all of this craziness, there was just an attempted murder. Kahlan is the voice of reason right now.
Yeah.
And Richard is totally, to what we know so far, he's totally off center.
Well, maybe he's just, cashing in a couple of the points that have been used against him in the last couple. Like he's taking a couple hits from Kahlan, so maybe
True.
he's just like, you know what? No, you're fine. You can wander off through the slip and go hang out with this fucking witch woman. You're gonna be fine, okay?
I'm gonna make a mistake now. Ha!
But yeah, also that is the ironic part is whose problems get solved if Nadine gets shot in the head with a crossbow?
Yeah.
Kahlan's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So for her to be the voice of reason is kind of like, okay, hey, you know what? Like, good for you, Kahlan. This is where you put, like your duty over your personal stuff. And,
Yeah.
think about the bigger picture. Like, good for you. Good job, Kahlan. But I think what I wish Richard could do right now is I wish he could sit down and have a beer.
Just chillax, have a little bit of beer.
He needs to calm down. He needs to have a beer because he's pissing me off. So I need to calm down and have a beer. And
I think that sounds like a great idea.
I just wish we could do a beer break with Richard.
He needs one.
Yeah.
I don't know what voice to give to Richard, but I'll work on it and get back to you.
Okay.
Hero voice or something. I just keep coming up with Clayface. I am here.
I don't think that's Richard.
No, it's not.
No.
Well, what are we drinking today, sir? Oh, so good.
We are drinking from Perrin Brewing Company. Definitely one of our local favorites here.
Yes.
And we got ourselves some Blackberry IPA. Clocking in right at 5%. This Blackberry IPA combines the tart sweetness of ripened blackberries along with an aromatic floral bouquet of fresh hops.
Oh!
Yeah! Pinky's out, motherfuckers.
You can smell the hops.
This is one of, I think, 2 IPAs that Jade is a big fan of.
Yeah, this one, unlike the other one, like we were discussing before we hit record, their cherry IPA, like you can't hardly even taste the hops in it.
No,
Yeah.
that's such a beautiful
This
beer.
is one of those.
This one you can taste the hops
Yeah.
a little bit, but that it pairs well with blackberry because like blackberry's kind of on the sour side.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is so good.
Yeah.
I love this beer very, very much. I would definitely say out of 10, what am I thinking of? 10 arrowheads?
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I think I'm going to give this guy, this I would say is a deserved 8. I think so. Solid 8. I realize past couple episodes, I may have been high on a couple beers, but this one really is an 8. So
Hey,
just shift everything down 1.
There is nothing wrong with enjoying the moment. Okay, and I think you're very good at that, Nate. You enjoy the moment.
I
So
try.
When you're drinking any beer, you're pretty much at an 8 or a 9.
If I have another sip of it, it's at least above a 6.
Yes.
Most of the time.
I'm in full agreement. I say this is an 8. This is delicious.
I get the 7 just because it's an IPA and it's not the cherry.
Yeah.
So.
You're always going to rate IPAs a little bit lower. So the fact that you gave this IPAs a 7,
Yeah.
that's big.
Yeah.
That's big. Okay. Well, I think we should drink a little bit more of this. Let me calm down a little
my
bit.
arm! Ow!
Yeah, and we'll be back right after the following messages.
And we're back. So that night, after Richard has given very specific instructions to everybody, and Kahlan notes that there was an issue. Like, she was like, this is weird, but there's weirdly no jealousy in the fact that Nadine is getting, like, special treatment.
Yeah.
Now, Richard does...
He's not in the mood to discuss it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't get discussed.
Foot down. Foot down.
Babe, can we just talk real quick? No. I'm angry right now. No.
I gotta learn that trick because that don't work around here. Like, hey, I'm not in the mood. Doesn't matter. We're having this conversation,
Yep. That's the way that works.
which is healthy and better, and I appreciate that.
I want to talk, so we're talking. But Kahlan sees something in her room that night. Her room that is unguarded, everyone.
Yeah, awful convenient how that worked out.
Yeah.
Richard, you dumb bitch.
She doesn't move when she sees the knife stab downward into the bed.
I know. I love this part so much because
Yes.
up until right now, you don't realize that Kahlan is not in the bed.
I was still when he said the person started stabbing the bed.
Yeah, flurry of stabs.
I was still trying to figure out how Kahlan wasn't getting stabbed.
Yeah.
I'm like, this doesn't make sense. This is bad fucking writing. And it was like 3 or 4 sentences later, I'm like, oh, Kahlan's not in the bed.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was so
like,
good.
Does she have an invisibility cloak on? That wouldn't stop a knife. How is this working?
This will be officially my 3rd go through of this series. And when it came to this, I knew. I already knew. But even so, it's like the knife came up and I'm like, oh my God, get out of there.
Run!
Not upstairs.
You know what that object is. Get out of the way.
Okay, so from the balcony, Richard gives a signal, and he and Burdine move as one silent unit into the room. And as the Mad stabs the bed repeatedly, they are like popping up behind him, you know?
Yeah, psychopath with a knife. Where have we seen a psychopath with a knife before?
I don't know.
Okay, so they...
Sorry, I was
like, this isn't gonna... We aren't gonna get to the solution right now. Like,
No, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I jumped ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
They turned all the lights up and tell Tristan
Yeah.
to drop the knife. That's where we've seen him before.
Tristan, you dumb bitch. Don't you know this was Richard's plan all along? You idiot.
Duh.
We all were in on it, weren't we, guys? We were all in on it.
Yeah.
I knew.
No, that's
Yeah,
what we were
you
talking.
knew
We
all
were
the whole time.
talking about this just before we came back. Then we realized, hey, we should probably just hit record while we talk about this.
Nadine thanks him for saving her. Tristan counted on Richard saving Nadine, but he would have had a plan B. Like, just in case she was killed, there would have been like okay, whatever, we'll shift he would have then been attacking all of the healers, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
In this case, what happened is that Richard went to go protect Nadine because she hadn't been killed. But had she been killed, then the plan B would have been for Tristan to pretend he was still coming after the other guys.
Yeah, plan B would have been the same thing, just under
shifted.
different. Yeah.
Yes.
Then she just would have been dead instead of still alive.
Well, yeah,
Right.
because if Nadine gets killed, guards go up everywhere. Like, because at that point, there's no more target. You don't know who the target is. Whereas if one
Yeah.
person
Oh, yeah.
almost dies,
Yeah.
Then
guards
somebody's
go
coming
to
back.
the almost dead person and, like, guards somewhere. Yeah, the whole point was to draw the guards away. Like, he knew that
Yeah.
was the whole plan.
But he would have had to just like egg on that I'm not just attacking Nadine then, I'm attacking all the healers. But that's, I think, why Richard says all the healers from the start.
Yeah.
Because he's like, no matter what, I'm not going to let his plan, I'm protecting all of my healers, so there are no protections on Kahlan. It
Yeah.
seemed like a very convoluted way to explain this, but
It is a little bit. It is a little bit, yeah. But we got there.
Okay. Tristan says that he was trying to kill Kahlan to save people.
Mm-hmm.
He is a hero, god damn it. The Imperial Order had come to his land and demanded that they surrender, so he was going to bring Kahlan's head to keep the plague from coming to his people. Duh.
Right. So he had made a deal with Jagang to where if he just kills Kahlan, then they won't fuck with his land and he'll be fine either way. What's interesting here, I thought, is that we've talked multiple times about how Nathan and the lady, right? He told her a bunch of prophecies. She went crazy, started a war, but that saved even more people. This is the same fucking thing from a different angle.
Yeah. Well,
Where it's like, you can't be mad about why he decided, okay, maybe this is something I need to do. Other people in this book have done the same thing for a different reason, and it's okay because, I don't really know, but it was okay.
Because there are heroes.
Yeah, because they're on our side.
Yeah, I would say it's just a matter of perspective. But the other thing is, because it was so similar to what we've discussed with Nathan, I thought about you, Nate, when this part came up in the book, because I was like,
no.
This is just Nate trying to justify the Joker killing people because it led to a greater good all over again.
Right, exactly.
Whereas, if you look at this from two different perspectives, from Richard's perspective, what Tristan's doing is kind of fucked up. But from Bobby Joe, who lives in wherever the fuck Tristan's from.
Oh, yeah.
I know I'm not going to pronounce it right, so we're just going to say Tristan's homeland. I'm sure they would be pretty fucking happy if Tristan kills Kahlan and then the plague doesn't come to them. So
Yeah, they'd be
just
like,
a matter
of course,
of perspective. Yeah.
Kill one person and then save all of us. That's obviously the right move. I just thought this was really interesting.
I think he's from Jara, which is super easy to pronounce. But anyways, Jara.
Hara? Lara.
Anyways, but it is
Jara.
interesting.
No, you're right. Yeah, you got it.
It is interesting because we know that no matter what, he couldn't have protected his land from the plague.
Yeah, there's nothing he could actually do to stop it. So Jagang is full of shit in the first place. It's like, oh, I'll spare your people. Now, does that mean Jagang doesn't know yet that he can't actually control the plague? Does he still think he might be able to do that?
Now, the other question I had is, did Jagang even actually give him this ultimatum here? That he...
Do you think he just made the choice on his own?
Like, they had the Imperial Order come and demand they surrender, and Tristan decided, well, this will be a good show to the new king. Let me bring Mother Confessor's head.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe he'll show favor on my land.
Fuck surrendering. Let me do you one better.
Yeah.
Let me end this war right now for you.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Maybe Jagang didn't have anything to do with it.
You mean kind of like what Nathan's doing
Oh
right
my
now?
God, yeah. Exactly what he's doing.
But also, I do, Jade, I think that could be part of it. And then also, Nathan.
Nathan me or Nathan him?
No, you, Nate.
Okay.
You asked a question. I don't remember what the question was, but I had an answer for it just like 45 seconds ago. You said... What'd you say?
Well, I think it was about Tristan, right? He was doing it to save people.
Yes.
It's the same thing.
Oh, was this a question? Like, did he ask... Is he doing this on his own?
Oh, no,
Yes,
that's what it was.
that's it.
Does Jagang know
Yeah.
if he can control the plague or not? It doesn't matter. What matters is if the people Jagang is talking to think that he can control the plague.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
He doesn't.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter to him. But if he can convince other people that he can, that's a weapon.
That's true.
I mean, well, we do know that he can release it in places. We just don't know we don't know if he knows or if he can stop it from spreading to places.
Right. Yeah.
He can
If he's
release
got
it.
in control in any form at all.
He does have some control of
Yeah.
it. Yes,
And he
So-
may not know that he can't stop it because
Yeah.
he may have just assumed it's a magical thing. My people will be able to heal me and all my
Yeah.
people. It's fine.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's
But-
faux show.
At this point, Richard orders the execution of Tristan for the attempt on Kahlan and Nadine's lives. Kahlan says, dude, the spirits note the difference between intent and deed. He didn't actually kill either one of us. So I think maybe you're going overboard. Okay? Maybe dial it back a little bit. And Richard is not having that conversation. He says it doesn't matter. He's going to take his head for the attempted murder. Plus, he doesn't want Kahlan having to hear what this guy did to the women. And he has decided he did it to the women. So, you know what? I'm going to kill him for that instead. Okay?
Which, he doesn't want Kahlan to hear all the stuff that he's going to say, right?
Which is asinine.
Earlier in the book, he was just like, I don't have to, she's her own woman. I don't got to be there all the time to save her ass because she's a strong, independent woman and she can make her own choices.
And this is her literal
And now
fucking
he's
job.
like, when she's like, dude, let me do the thing that I, in my soul, was created to do.
Yeah.
And I can solve this or help with this problem in a very efficient way. And Richard's like, I'm not in the mood.
I don't want to hear about that.
No.
And that's what it is. It's not even help. This 100% solves the problem.
Yeah.
You now
Yes.
know if Tristan is innocent or if he is guilty. And guess what? Either way, the people of Jara know what the Mother Confessor can do. So if he comes back confessed and says one or the other, there's still no problem.
Also,
Right.
We're totally fine.
we can find out more information about what happened with the Imperial Order, who is apparently in the
Yes!
Midlands, very far in the Midlands, if they had sent a delegation to Jara to fucking get them to surrender. We should ask some more questions. There are more
Yeah.
questions that we should have. And also, if I were Kahlan, I would look him in the eye and be like, I've listened to confessed to mutilating children. This is my job. I've heard worse shit than this.
Oh, yeah.
Richard.
Yeah. Oh,
You're
wow,
not
yeah.
sparing me.
Not
from
only that,
anything.
I'm experienced in this, is what you're saying. So,
Also-
I've been doing this. What are
Also,
you talking about?
Women are being hurt. So, fuck
Yes.
off.
Hey-
Let me do my job.
Hey, Richard, do you think maybe we should confess him and then we can for sure know that he is the one doing the killings and
Yeah.
there's not two people?
Yeah, why leave it to question?
Yeah.
Let's just get to the bottom of it right
'Cause
now.
Kahlan can't handle that. Her
Yeah.
sweet little heart.
And this is where
Little Clarissa Starling.
Yeah. This is where earlier when Richard was blowing up about guarding Nadine and all this stuff, I was like, Richard, come on. This is passion rules reason. But then we kind of, and we're going to discuss a little bit later, we get hinted in that maybe Richard was overacting at that point because he was trying to set a plan.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't think this is that. I don't think he's trying to set a plan. This is passion rules reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, so far, because we don't have any information that Richard may have as to he's already figured out it was Tristan beforehand.
Yeah, he
You know
knows.
what I mean?
He knows because he saw the goat hairs. So he knows
Okay,
that
yeah,
Tristan
I guess
was...
I didn't put the goat hairs in the
Oh,
notes.
yeah,
Sorry,
okay.
guys. That's what I was
Okay.
waiting to
That's
have.
the tell.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so and that's what it was, is the goat hairs are there, and it's like, okay.
Without the goat hairs, this seems asinine
We got
that
nothing.
he even is
Yeah.
assuming that it was Tristan. Like,
Yeah.
granted, we saw him trying to stab the bed now. But
Yes.
without seeing that, there's
Yeah.
nothing saying it was Tristan before that.
Yeah,
without the goat hairs.
The goat hairs are what ties Tristan into Nadine's murder attempt.
Which,
So that's
Yes.
why he was able to tie in Nadine and Kahlan to this. But the problem is, he has, like you said, Jade, zero information on that this ties into the prostitute killings.
The rest of the killings.
Well,
exactly.
except he's a
for
stabby.
a violently stabby
yeah.
person was in both of those scenarios.
That's true.
But that is definitely something that can be waved away as correlation, not causation.
That's true.
And the writing here doesn't explicitly make it clear that Richard had seen the goat hairs before the murder attempt on Kahlan.
No.
Which makes it confusing for the reader as to how the fuck Richard just made this wild jump
Yes.
over the Shark Tank to be like, it was Tristan.
So
What?
this is
What?
this is what you wanted to talk about earlier, Nate. We were discussing off air. So I brought up that I think that Richard saw the goat hairs on Tristan's knees when they first got back to the palace, and that's when Richard started overacting because he was like, oh shit, I think it's Tristan. I'm going to now put a plan in place.
Right when he showed up.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
after they left, he pulled everyone back in and was like, okay, guys, here's why I did that.
Yeah, because
that
there's a
was fucked
cutscene
up.
that we don't get
Yes.
to see.
Yes.
It just comes back in hours later,
Yeah.
and it's like,
So
okay, now
I
what's happening?
think Richard...
And also maybe
Knew
Tristan
that.
showing up, like, because they walked into the palace, and then I believe Tristan walks into the palace after them.
Well, and it
Yes.
was that, and like Richard noticed he wasn't doing his normal whatever shtick to where he shows off his knife. Like Tristan was acting different.
He was acting weird.
Yeah.
yeah,
He was acting weird.
yeah,
He had just attempted murder, and then he
Well,
returned
yeah,
to the scene of the crime.
yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Weird.
You know what else it is? It's something that happens in very real life. And that is what our side quest is going to be.
No
on.
way.
Yeah.
I had no idea where
I
you were
found
going
a
with
dude that I cannot wait to share with you, Aaron.
Okay.
Of a murderer
Yeah.
who then returned to the scene of the crime, and because he returned to the scene of the crime, gets caught.
Okay. Before we get to that, though, we're going to finish up this chapter because we have one more note. But I also want to reiterate because it's just crazy to me the way that Richard flip-flops here at the end. And not really flip-flops. Like, he's positive on what he's going to do, right? But
Right.
his reasoning is just, he's a crazy fucking person. Like,
It seems like he'll use any reason to do the thing that
Yeah.
he really wants to do right now.
yeah, none of the people around him who have reasonable arguments are being listened to, and that's not something that I appreciate in a person. Like,
Yeah.
Richard is like, I'm going to take his head for trying to kill you. Caitlin's like, okay, listen, I hear what you're saying, but killing somebody is different than trying to kill somebody, and maybe we could just put him in prison for a while or something. Like, attempted murder is not the same thing. So maybe we shouldn't just jump to killing everybody for attempted murder. That sets a bad precedent, Richard. And
Yes.
and he's like, okay, then I'm going to kill him for the other murders. And Kahlan's like, well, we got to prove that he did those other murders then, Richard. And Richard's like, well, fuck it. I'm actually going to kill him for the first thing then. And she's like, that's still not okay, though.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. That's the end of the convo. Foot down.
So I very slightly disagree, but full agree that Richard is acting like a dumbass right now.
Yeah.
The only thing I disagree on is that this was like they staged this because this wasn't the moment Tristan started stabbing the bed. That is, in fact, that was a murder attempt.
Hey,
Yes.
Because he didn't know Kahlan was not going to be. So he would have gotten away with it if Kahlan was in the bed.
I don't disagree. And
That's where I'm like, yeah, kill him.
The intent versus deed argument is
Yeah.
one that I don't know that I stand behind so super, but they do in the book, I guess is my point.
Yeah.
We have so far. And I do think it's bad precedent to just start saying, okay, you didn't actually kill the death. When you kill somebody, there's nothing worse than that, right? Because they're already dead. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to have the same sentence for somebody who tried to kill somebody as somebody who did kill somebody, it's just something to look at, okay?
Yes. Oh, I agree. I'm saying that Tristan did the deed, though. He did the stabbing.
I don't disagree with you.
That's where I was at. Like,
that's where I'm at. He
intent is
shot.
I'm headed over there, and then he was actually plunging the knife. Like, he was going. They stopped him.
Hold on. He shot the crossbow.
That's true. He did intend to kill, or
just
did he
because
miss on
he's
purpose?
apparently thought Richard would be able to stop it, or if he tried to miss, doesn't matter. Then we're at least at manslaughter.
Hey, and you know what? I don't hate that argument, but
yeah.
none of the book people made it.
But that's what I mean. That's where I'm frustrated because it's like
that's where that conversation should have gone.
Well, no, this is where I think one person in the book did make that argument, and it was Richard. He's saying no, he tried to kill you. He's not saying he planned to kill you. He tried.
I guess
I
my
think.
problem.
Caught in the act.
My
Yes.
problem is that he's not calmly giving that, and
100%.
Yes.
I agree on that.
Yeah.
and the intent versus deed comment
Yes.
is something that gets brought up a lot, and you just need to illustrate to the reader
Yes, exactly.
that this is not intent versus deed because he did the deed.
Right.
This is where you have that conversation.
Yeah, so where Kahlan makes that argument is where Richard should have come back with, he did do it, though.
Yes, he needed to let go of the passion, think of reason, and explain to Kahlan, no, Kahlan, the reason I am still going to behead him is because he stabbed. He did the deed.
Yeah.
He went past... But yeah, we don't get that.
Yeah, and
now it's up to us, and we have to question, like...
It just looks
well,
like
Richard's being another hothead.
Yeah, it looks like he's grasping at straws, and it seems like maybe Tristan shouldn't die. Like, just because of the way that Richard does this, it looks like maybe it was the wrong move from my perspective.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
At least in the way that he's going through it so fast.
Yeah.
Like, isn't the term kangaroo court?
Oh, yeah.
Where they're just like, oh, is he guilty or innocent? Obviously he's guilty because we're all pissed off and that's why we're here. And then they kill someone and say, well, that was legal.
Yeah.
Because he's the Lord Rawl, so it's all legit. And it's like, well, I'm all for Tristan to die.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like,
but listen to the arguments that your people
let's do
are
this
telling
the right
you.
way. We'll have a talk first.
And again,
otherwise this is going to get crazy real quick.
And here's the other thing, and this is where, back to what you said earlier, this is where Richard clearly does not value Kahlan as her own independent person.
A partner?
Because which is worse? Killing the man so his life is done, or confessing him and then he lives under Kahlan's rule where he can do good things for the rest of his life.
And he's confessed.
Or admits all the horrible shit that he's done, and he dies anyway.
Yeah, and then you can kill him with a conscious clear.
We all
clear
agreed.
conscious.
Yeah. We all agree on the end goal. Tristan's going to die.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Kahlan doesn't typically kill people after she confesses them because they are not the same people.
But she could.
That's
She
true.
could.
She could. I'm sure if it turned out he admitted to all those murders, maybe Kahlan would be mad enough to tell him to die.
Sometimes. I mean,
the legal process
Nos?
kicks in, and then they just murder him.
Tim and Nos,
Mm-hmm.
he was killed.
Yeah, and that's good.
Yeah. But again, it's what you said, Jade. It's why can't Richard calm down just a little bit? Because there is some leg to what his argument is, but because he's just so shouty.
Yeah, and he's just barreling through.
And like you said, it's the kangaroo court. It's like, fine, I'm killing for the prostitutes. Richard, we don't know if he did that. Fine, I'm killing him for the attempt on Nadine.
Yeah,
Richard,
way, I'm killing him.
You already said that, Richard. You're like, I don't care, he's dying. And then, and he goes and he says, what's his face? He even asks him, he's like, well, Lord Rawl, what's your final decision? Richard's like, yep, kill him.
Yeah.
That's the end of it.
Yeah, the last thing he says is he wants a detachment set to Jara with Tristan's head. He's bringing him his head to his
Sending
family.
him a message, yeah.
Offering surrender one more time. He expects them back within a month with the answer, or he's taking over.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll go there himself.
Which, okay. Now, I think it's a little gruesome to have your family member's head brought back to you after they did a bad thing. But
well,
I also think that at this point, Tristan has been given a extra time period than most people have been given. And
yeah, he was the only one.
Yeah.
And what he chose to do with that is, I think, pretty firmly say no, because he tried to kill Richard's betrothed. Like, he tried to kill one of the leaders of the Midlands.
Yeah.
So he pretty
Instead
much
of doing that, he's just been hanging out planning a murder. That's the way it looks.
Yeah. So for him to even be offering surrender to Jara at this point, one more time, is kind of gracious. Because, I mean, although the whole country didn't do that, it would be pretty easy to be like, hey, you were supposed to surrender, and instead of your person surrendering, they tried to murder one of the heads of the country.
Yeah,
so
guess what? You're part of us now.
done.
Yeah.
Well, and so from Jara's perspective, that's very gracious. But what about all the other places that had to agree on the day, on the spot, without any counsel, and also didn't have one of their major leaders attempt to kill the Lord Rawl's betrothed?
Yeah, you'd be pissed.
Like,
you'd be pretty pissed.
That's that's fucked up.
That's
this is
looking like
where
favoritism.
Strike 4.
Yeah, that's where it's like, hey, let's be honest here, guys. Jara fucked up.
Yeah.
They didn't. That's it. They don't get a last chance.
Yeah, it kind
that
of
was
looks like
the
Richard's
last
being
chance.
a little soft at this point.
Actually, wow. Yeah.
And as soon as you look soft after trying to be a big tough guy and bully people around, because that was my opinion on what he did in all those meetings.
Oh, definitely.
People are gonna stand up to bullies.
Yeah. They're not going to go so quietly.
Yeah, you gotta let the reason rule, not the passion.
I mean, he's looking a little dictator-y, right? I mean, after everything he did, and then the murder here. And
Hey,
Richard,
Richard the dictator, more just like Dick the dictator. Just a dictator.
I think we should go out on that.
Yeah, that's the high
Let's
point
end it
of
on
the
that.
entire episode. Well played. Yeah, we got it. We got it.
I'm so glad I stayed. I was gonna leave earlier.
I know. We would have missed out on that gold, Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Seeker, very, very much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you wanted to let us know what you thought of it, you can write in your journey books to podcastatt@gmail.com, or you can follow us on any of our social medias. If you really enjoyed this episode, you could go to patreon.com/podcastatt and sign up for a tier or make a pledge of any amount. Does not matter. We would love to see you there. If that is not your thing, you can always leave us a preferably 5-star rating and an honest review, and we'd appreciate that very much. It helps other people find the show, and may have even helped you get here. So if it's your first episode ever, hi, and thank you.
Well, and I think, just a good message to send is we always read the 5-star reviews right
Every
away.
single one, yeah.
So if you have something critical to say, 5-star review, we'll see it. Don't, because if we see
5 stars, honest quote on the bottom, and then that one will get attention.
2-star review, we might not read that for a while.
We're gonna have to get braced for it.
So 5-star review, or 5 stars, honest review.
It's perfect. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you so much for listening. We will see you real soon.
Bye.
So yeah, it's like because Richard, you can shorten it to Dick, so it's dictator.